TFC event number 2, fight number 4, DH from Belarus versus GPG, Global Proving Ground of New York City, a boxer. Wrestler versus boxer. The old adage is if the wrestler gets a hold of the boxer, the wrestler's going to win the fight. They keep it on their feet, and the boxer may have the upper hand. And there's a big right hand from the boxer, Caustic of Belarus, and he is landing some good blows. And Perry here is going to look for a double leg, and he lands it. You see a little ground game employed by the boxer as he instantly went for an arm-in guillotine, closed his guard on Perry. The U.S. fighter looks like he's almost trying to get him to the ropes, as if he's used to fighting in a cage where you want to put your opponent up against the cage when you have this position. He is raining blows to his ribs, and for his part, Caustic very smartly trapping that left arm and the head, avoiding any type of posturing and separation from the U.S. fighter where he may be able to work a submission or rain blows. But at the same time, he does not have an active guard, and that's what you would expect from a boxer. And the Belarus fighter, being a boxer, you're not real sure how his submission game is. And again, he's just keeping that left arm trapped and the head close to his body, willing to absorb those right hands to the rib area. Those are the kind of shots that are going to hurt tomorrow, not necessarily right now. But the U.S. fighter is still in control. Kind of a stalemate here. Traditional MMA, you might look for a stand-up, but in this particular situation, they're going to let him go. This is 5-on-5. You don't see this anywhere else in the world. The Team Fighting Championships bringing you one-of-a-kind mixed martial arts action. And now the separation is created. Caustic looked to kick off on the U.S. fighter, but instead he passes. Perry now on a full mount. He's going to look to get his head out, and he does. And now you're going to see some strikes. Hammer fist, rights and lefts. Caustic now just looking to cover up and survive. And you see the wrestler, not necessarily traditional type strikes, but he is just landing hammer fists and short rights. And now his teammate's going to come over and help. And there's some more right hands. And now you got a 2-on-1 situation. And this is where we see that rear naked choke. He's got both hooks in, and it's deep. And he taps. Neil Ryan Perry of the USA able to eliminate Caustic, the big boxer out of Belarus, and he's upset. He did not boxer. And again, you have a grappler versus a boxer, NBK versus Damon, and Damon landing strikes. But NBK landing strikes of his own. And these guys like rock'em sock'em robots just throwing lefts and rights. Now you got a tie clinch. He looked for some tie knees. He's going to pull him to the ground and instantly pull guard. And I've said it before, the key when you have the man in guard is to not allow him to create separation. Here you see putting pressure on that forehead and slamming him to the ground, attempting to get those arms to unlock so that he can create that much needed separation to land strikes. Closed guard, but it's a very low closed guard. At the same time, the Belarus fighter is not looking to pass. And NBK now looks, he's moving to his hip. When you see the grappler move to his hips like that, he could be looking for an arm bar, looking to isolate an arm, perhaps go for a triangle, maybe looking for a sweep. The Belarus fighter content to lay on top, throw strikes here and there. The U.S. fighter, NBK, now getting a little help from his friend, and that's what he needed. He's got that one leg underneath, almost like a go-go plata type situation. And now look at this. The Belarus fighter is in NBK's guard. The other U.S. fighter gets on his back. Rear naked choke situation. And with the punches being rained down by NBK, he is choked out. This is the kind of stuff you'll only see in the Team Fighting Championships. You will not see this in any other organization. Team Fighting Championships bringing you original mixed martial arts versus the Rhino. Shock rushes the Rhino. The Rhino, the bigger man, was not the case in the earlier fight with the U.S. when we saw the Rhino earlier in this event. Shock Raining blows, and you saw an armbar attempt, perhaps a triangle attempt there from the bottom of the Rhino. I think he still has that arm, and now he's out of it. Now he can move it to an omoplata, and he is trying to move it to an omoplata. And then he transitions from the omoplata to side control. Looking to maintain side control. He's getting, okay, he's got his leg over. He's got a full mount. They're tangled up with two other fighters. And Rhino is a big man to have on top of you, raining down these blows. Elbows. More elbows. Rhino, big man. Those are big arms coming in there with those elbows. Now he's just raining blows. Pashak just covering up. Every once in a while, Pashak will throw a strike from the bottom, looking to try to work from his back against the much bigger Rhino. And now he's trapped both his arms. And Rhino's screaming for help, and he's going to get it. And that's a soccer kick, and that's going to get his arms untrapped. And that's the strategy of the team fighting championships. Like I said, you'll see that nowhere else. There's a warning from Sergey Domnin. But you won't see this anywhere else. He gets his arms trapped. He screams for his teammate to come help, which he does, and he's able to gain control again. And there is strategy involved in the team fighting championships. And as more teams get used to this, this is our second event, you're going to see them employing those type of strategies where they're screaming for help and they get it from their teammates. Hammer fists. He's looking for a place to knee, and there he lands it. And now you got one man throwing strikes, one man in a full mount, and another man dropping knees. And Sergey and his team step in, and that will eliminate the Belarusia fighter. Rhino is Zanija of Belarusia taking on Buck. Zanija the bigger man. He looks like he's going to have the reach here. Buck looking to stay outside of that reach. Ankle pick and a big takedown. As you saw, Zanija went for sort of an arm-in guillotine. He was picked up and slammed by Buck. Buck now north-south position, driving that head into the stomach. And you see Zanija maybe a little unexperienced in this position, inexperienced. Well, he's throwing knees there, but he was trying to almost trap like a scissor hold, and that's not the way to get out of this. But he's holding on for dear life. Buck transitions to side control. At some point here, Zanija's going to have to let go to defend himself. He's still throwing knees to the head of Buck. Buck now puts his hand in the way, trying to avoid those strikes, throwing some strikes of his own. Those knees don't have much behind him. A lot of them are landing on the bicep area of Buck from Zanija. Now, Buck gets a little bit of help from his teammate. And now Zanija is mounted by his teammate. Buck and his teammate raining blows. The judges are right there looking to see if it needs to be stopped. Soccer kicks. And that's a big one. That landed clean. And they step in. Two men raining blows on one man. Team fighting championships. And the judges do step in and save Zanija. Grappler versus boxer, Sean Barnett taking on Panija. Panija lands a flying kick right off the bat that drops Sean Barnett through the rope. Sean Barnett able to get an ankle pick there. Transitions to a single leg. Panija looking for a guillotine choke here. But he needs to pull guard if he wants that to work. And Sean Barnett is aware of that, managing to stay in half guard only. Panija needs to look to transition. Now Barnett, a little bit more trouble here. Panija's able to get some range here with those blows. And there's a big right lands to the back of the head. Not much on it. Again, the top of the head. None of those really landing there. Barnett transitions to an armbar. And Panija knows he's in trouble and he's got to get out of this. And standing up and trying to pull away is the worst thing you can do. And that's exactly what he does. Looking for a head stomp. And Barnett's able to finish it with an armbar. You want to look to stack your opponent up, and that's the official word. GPG, New York City, United States of America.